Hello everybody, this is somebody that you used to know. Today I'm starting my playthrough of Curse of the Dead Gods. Curse of the Dead Gods is a roguelike dungeon crawler with an isometric view developed by Past Tech Games and published by Focus Home Interactive and officially released February 23rd, 2021. The goal of the game is to make it as far as you can to an aspect by avoiding traps, like wielding various weapons and obtaining relics that provide important effects. As you can see here in the tutorial, I'm pretty much just smashing pots and just looking around and see whatever I can find. So here it's teaching all about the using light to reduce damage, using your torch to light the flames, teaching you about the dodge mechanic because of course it's a roguelite. So with a roguelite, you just evasive combat. So for your basic starting off tutorial, they start you off with a machete and the revolver. So you can see there's a parry system. When you parry an enemy, it breaks their guard, makes them weakened. I think one of the things that really attracted me to this game is the fact that there's enough different weapons and different items that you can pretty much play your build your way. For your quick melee people, they have one-handed swords and maces, throwing knives, throwing axes. For your offhand, they have guns, they have shields. Oh, they have whips, so you can get that Indiana Jones fantasy going. So here you're collecting crystal skulls, jade rings, which your jade rings unlock access to other weapons that will then become available to find in the temple. Here on the map, it's broken up into a random assortment of rooms. Your gold piles, you have lots of gold to loot just lying around on the ground. The cross weapons icon, you have a choice of 3 weapons you can buy at the end of the room. The statue, you can choose 1 of 3 relics to buy at the end of the room. The 3 stone head, you can choose up to 2 stats to purchase at the end of the room. The machete is one of my favorite rooms because it gives you a chance to upgrade a weapon. And the chest, you get to do a vault challenge, which is you have to beat so many enemies without being hit. And if you do, then the chest will open. If you get hit once, the chest disappears. And the gem icon, which is very rare, is a large chalice with a lot of gold in the middle of the room. And you have to defeat all the enemies as quickly as you can. And every time you get hit, or the longer you take, the less gold that is in the cup when you finally knock it over. And then the question mark is completely random. So, here in this playthrough, since it's the beginning, I just got lucky right now and managed to find a 2-handed spear off of an enemy, so that was a pretty lucky drop. Unfortunately, I don't really use the 2-handed weapons too often. I find them to be too heavy and slow. However, I do use the large hammer and the large swords because they can smash walls and break certain traps. I will admit the game can be a little frustrating at first until you actually get the timing down for the parries and for the dodge rolls. But once you get the timing down, the game's pretty enjoyable. It's definitely a challenge, but personally, I like that. And I got mine. I'm playing on the PS4, and I got mine free with PlayStation Plus. However, I would easily drop $20 on this game if I had to do it over again. It's got a lot of replay value because of maps being procedurally generated. It's got a lot of interesting play elements in it. Like, for example, you can purchase your upgrades with both gold, or if you don't have enough gold, you can purchase your upgrades by making a blood offering at the altars. And the downside to making the blood offerings is it builds up your corruption bar, which is down in the bottom right hand corner. When you build that up to 100, you get a random curse applied to you. You get 4 random curses, and then the 5th curse is always the same. I can't remember the name of the curse off the top of my head, but basically your health starts ticking down until you reach 1 health. And it's kind of challenging. But yeah, it's a very fast-paced game. You need to always be moving around. So far, unlike a lot of other games, this game I haven't found anything that you absolutely cannot parry, as long as you have the timing down, which I honestly don't have the timing down, so I can't parry everything, and as you'll see, I'll get hit a lot. But yeah, so this is my first run. This is in the Jaguar Temple. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the healing room. I'm an idiot. The healing room, you can, well, you're about to see it. There's a blood pool in the center, and you basically, well, there you go. There's my first curse. Blurred vision is the map can change at any moment to appear as something else. So, like I was saying, in the healing room, you can gain, I think it's 20% of your health in exchange for 20 corruption. The game's pretty interesting because you have to learn the fine balance between your corruption and your gold. Like, for example, if you have the gold, you don't need to spend the gold to buy a weapon. If, for example, it's a really, really good weapon, but it's going to take all your gold, whereas in exchange, you can just take basically a curse in exchange for some of the strongest weapons in the game. So, yeah. I'm sorry for this point. I think at this part, somebody called me away from the computer for a few minutes. So, sorry about that. As you can see, the traps on the map can affect not only you, but they can affect the enemies as well. So sometimes letting the environment kill the enemy is a viable strategy, depending on how tough they are. Sometimes getting the enemies to break walls for you or destroy traps for you is also a pretty viable strategy. As you can see, those are some relics that I've picked up. They do different things. The stats that you see down in the bottom left-hand corner, the 3 statue heads. The red one's a jaguar head, the blue one's an eagle head, and the green one's a snake head. The red jaguar head is Constitution, so I have an additional 3 Constitution that increases my maximum health. The blue eagle increases all your weapon damage for every point, and which is your dexterity, and the green snake is your perception, which basically increases your chances of finding gold and finding better weapons the higher the stat. So each run is basically set up with the first floors are trying to defeat the first boss of the temple, and there's one for each aspect. So there's a boss for the Jaguar Temple, there's a boss for the Eagle Temple, there's a boss for the Snake Temple as well, which you'll be seeing more of those in the future. What I really like is that the game, each section of the temple actually has its own layout and its own unique traps. Right now, I believe I picked up a poison claw somewhere, which is what I'm using right now. Yeah, I'm using a poison claw and I'm using a revolver. So here I basically gave gold I did a gold sacrifice to level up my claws. The next room that I'm going into is also an upgrade room. So I have a chance to level up my claws twice. And then once you make it to the end of a floor, you'll have a champion, a boss fight. The first few floors seem pretty easy, but the game definitely starts getting a lot harder once you start trying to do the second floor of each temple. So yeah, with being able to use a variety of weapons, I tend to prefer personally, I prefer the throwing knives. And then either a shield or the whip as my secondary. But the game is very simple to learn, but kind of hard to master. Okay. So here, just cleaning up whatever's left behind. I have one more room, and then I'm on to the first Jaguar champion. So basically, this new curse, locked off one of my relics, so I can't use it. But I gained 3 divine favors, and the way the divine favors work is when I'm in the store, looking at relics or looking at weapons or looking at stat buffs. With the divine, I can pay a divine favor to re-roll one of the slots. So that's something kind of handy, but I would definitely prefer to have the other item slot. You gotta be careful because some of the traps actually create hazards in the area. as you progress further and further into the temple, you'll notice that some bosses will have a yellow banner around their life bar. It means that they're a champion or an elite. So obviously they'll be a tougher fight, but they should also have better experience, better rewards. And after this, I believe is yeah. Here's the Jaguar champion. Now the thing is, he's actually pretty easy if you just figure out his pattern and know the dodge and good. The hardest thing about him are the dogs that he summons, the jaguars that he summons. So killing them as quickly as you can is a must. Or else you can summon them. And if he gets too many, I'll just swarm. Now, as you saw right there with the spear, literally you just gotta wait right till he throws it and then roll through it, or if you're good enough, you can deflect it. If you parry at the right time, and if you have the right shield to do it, and you parry the spear, not only does it not do damage to you, but it will actually reflect his attack right back down. So as you can see, he summons the dog, he summons the jaguar, you take the jaguar out, roll through the spear, hit him a few times. Don't be in the middle of the circle when he does his big explosion. And that's the first boss. That's the first floor of the Jaguar Temple of Curse of the Dead Gods. I hope anybody who watched this actually enjoyed that or found it informative, or hey, if you've heard about the game and you were wondering like what is it really all about, should I check it out? Well, now you have an idea. So anyway, I'm somebody that you know, and we're watching the first video. On the next part of this playthrough, I'll show you how the triple will take on. So thanks for watching. Have a good day.